fade in. The year is 1900. We are standing on the precipice of the modern world. To understand New Year's Eve in America at the turn of the 20th century, you have to strip away the LED screens, the barricades, and the global pop stars. You have to imagine a world that is smelling of coal smoke, wet wool, and the electric ozone of a society rapidly industrializing. It is a time when the night is darker, yet the lights are shining brighter than human eyes have ever seen before. When the clock ticks toward midnight in the early 1900s, America is a nation in transition. The Victorian era is dying a slow, dignified death, and the boisterous, chaotic energy of the 20th century is being born in the streets of New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago. Let us begin in the epicenter of the American imagination, New York City. But do not look at Times Square yet. In the first few years of the decade, 1900, 1901, 1902, the heart of the celebration is not uptown, it is downtown, at Trinity Church on Broadway and Wall Street. For generations, this was the tradition. As the sun sets, thousands of people begin to gather in the financial district. It is a solemn, almost religious pilgrimage. They are there to hear the ringing of the changes. The heavy bronze bells in the Trinity spire are the voice of the city. The atmosphere here is strange by modern standards. It is crowded, yes, with 15,000 people packed into the narrow colonial streets, but there is a hush. This is the tradition of the watch night service, a custom borrowed from the Methodists and the African American church traditions. People are inside the churches, kneeling, praying the old year out and the new year in. They are repenting. The mood is one of introspection. But outside, the pressure is building. The younger generation, the immigrants, the laborers, they don't want to pray, they want to scream. And then the shift happens, the pivot point of history. The year is 1904. This is the moment New Year's Eve changes forever. A man named Adolph Ochs, the owner of a struggling newspaper called the New York Times, has a vision. He has just built the second tallest building in New York, the Times Tower, at the intersection of 42nd Street and Broadway, an area formerly known as Longacre Square. He convinces the city to rename it Times Square. He wants to open his new headquarters with a bang, literally.
On December 31st, 1904, Ochs throws a party that makes the Trinity Church bells sound like a whisper. 200,000 people flood uptown. They occupy the streets above the newly opened subway system. At midnight, Ochs doesn't drop a ball, he sets the sky on fire. Dynamite bombs are fired from the roof of the skyscraper. The noise is deafening. It is the sound of American ambition. The ground shakes. The smoke swirls through the canyons of steel. People are terrified and exhilarated all at once. The center of gravity has shifted. God is downtown, but the party is uptown. However, the city fathers are worried. The hot ash from the fireworks is raining down on the crowd. The fire department steps in. By 1907, they ban the fireworks. Ochs needs a new gimmick. He looks to the maritime world for inspiration. In harbors around the world, time balls drop at noon to help sailors set their chronometers. Ochs asks his chief electrician, a man named Walter F. Palmer, to build a time ball for midnight. Picture this object. It is not made of Waterford crystal and LEDs. It is a steampunk beast. It is 5 feet in diameter, constructed of iron and wood. It weighs 700 pounds. It is covered in 125-watt incandescent light bulbs, the cutting edge of technology. There is no computer to drop it. There is a man named Jacob Ellis. He stands in the freezing wind on the roof, watch in hand, waiting for the telegraph signal from the Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C. At the exact second, he creates a short circuit that releases the magnet, and he uses a rope to lower that 700-pound iron cage down the flagpole. It takes 10 seconds. The crowd below, now swelling to 500,000, sees that single electric pearl descend, and the roar that goes up is a sound that has never been heard in human history. But while the masses are freezing in the streets, shivering in their heavy tweed coats and flat caps, blowing on tin horns and spinning wooden ratchets to scare away the devil, a very different scene is unfolding inside the lobster palaces of Broadway. Step through the revolving doors of Rector's or Delmonico's or the Waldorf Astoria. The air here is thick with cigar smoke and the scent of hothouse flowers. This is the Gilded Age at its absolute peak. The wealth in these rooms is staggering. The men are in white tie and tails. The women are dripping in diamonds, their waists cinched tight in the hourglass Gibson girl style. The menus from these 1900s celebrations survive, and they read like a biological survey of extinct excess. They're eating things we can barely imagine today. Green turtle soup, canvasback duck from the Chesapeake Bay, terrapin, Maryland, and oysters. Thousands and thousands of oysters, washed down with magnums of champagne. The popping of corks at midnight is said to rival the noise of the street. At the Café Martin, they introduce a novelty. A flying lady descends from the ceiling on a swing to bless the crowd. It is decadence on industrial scale.
Yet there's a tension in the air. The temperance movement is growing. In just over a decade, alcohol will be illegal. But in the 1900s, the liquor flows like a river. It is a desperate sort of drinking, a toast to a future that everyone knows will be different. Leave New York now, travel south to Philadelphia. Here, the 1900s solidify a tradition that is distinctly American and utterly bizarre: the Mummers Parade. While New York looks to the future, Philadelphia looks to the folklore of the past. On New Year's Day, 1901, the city officially recognizes the parade for the first time, bringing order to chaos. Working-class men, mostly from Swedish, British, and German immigrant backgrounds, dress in elaborate costumes made of cheap satin and mirrors. They are the shooters. They march through the streets, firing guns into the air, a rural tradition meant to kill the spirits of the old year. They play banjos and fiddles. It is a carnival of the working man, a day when the social order is inverted and the poor own the streets. The costumes are heavy, the weather is often brutal, but the pride is fierce. It is a raw, raucous display of immigrant identity asserting itself in the new world. Meanwhile, in the quiet, gas-lit parlors of suburban America and the brownstones of Boston and Chicago, a much older, genteel tradition is taking its final breaths. It is the custom of New Year's calling. In the early 1900s, New Year's Day is not for watching football, it is for social endurance. By custom, ladies stay at home, dressing in their finest reception gowns, setting up buffets of pickled oysters, chicken salad, and strong punch. They keep their open house. The gentlemen, meanwhile, are required to visit. They run a gauntlet. A man might visit 30 or 40 houses in a single day. He dashes in, hands over his calling card, bows to the hostess, drinks a glass of punch, eats a cookie, and rushes to the next house. It sounds polite, but by 1905 it has become a chaotic mess. The men, obliged to drink a toast at every house, are often stumbling drunk by 2 p.m. It becomes a spectacle. The newspapers begin to mock the tradition. The introverts hate it. The extroverts abuse it. As the telephone begins to appear in more hallways, the need for this physical calling fades. The 1900s see the death of this centuries-old social glue, replaced by the private party and the telephone call.